So let's cover this because Cuomo, amid scandals, ending a decade-long run in disgrace. A disgrace ends in disgrace because he is a disgrace, and he's not a self-made man. His father was the real deal, and he is not. Cuomo resigns amid scandals, ending decade-long run in disgrace. He wasn't able to withstand the consequences of his actions. That's what the headline should be. That's what it should be. Governor Cuomo was unable to withstand a barrage of sexual harassment allegations that led most of his allies to abandon him. Yeah, he wasn't able to withstand the consequences of his actions. That's what the subheadline should be there. Not people abandoned him. People abandoned him.
Oh, he's abandoned. Oh, should I feel sorry for Cuomo?
And he was barraged with allegations, and then his allies abandoned him. Isn't that amazing, Ron? That is amazing. Jeez. I can't believe the guy who had a meltdown when he got heckled at a restaurant wasn't able to guide his brother out of this. Cuomo files, here we go. Cuomo files this is the thing. Cuomo files for retirement to receive state's lifetime pension. And I was worried about him. I was like, what's he going to do for money? What's he going to do for money? Look, I screwed over some nursing homes, hospitals, and the homeless. I harassed a bunch of women. I paid my dues. Time to hang up my spurs. Days before his resignation takes effect, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo officially filed his retirement papers to receive an annual lifetime pension, despite being found complicit by the Attorney General's Office of sexually harassing at least 11 women. 11. Under current state law, neither resignation nor impeachment for Cuomo's alleged sexual harassment would bar the governor from receiving his lifetime pension. Only a felony conviction would force him to forfeit the cash. Wow. Only a felony conviction would make him forfeit the cash, which is why Bill Clinton didn't inhale. The retirement is official as of Wednesday, September 1st. Cuomo, now 63 years old, could net more than $1 million over the course of the next 20 years under the pension plan, an average of about $50,000 per year. Nobody's asking how we're going to pay for that, I bet. New York hospitals face a $400 million in cuts, even as the virus battle rages.
Oh my God.
So that was Cuomo did that. We covered it as it happened, and then the Shit Libs gave him a fucking Emmy. State lawmakers said that slashing hospitals' budgets to rein in medical costs while the coronavirus is spreading is cruel, inhuman, and unacceptable. But he did it anyway. He did it anyway, and then they gave him an Emmy.
They gave him an Emmy for talking.
For talking.
Like talking. Nice. Which, by the way, should be the bare minimum requirement to be a public official. Hey, you're a public official. You're supposed to serve the public, and you need to be able to communicate with them. Part of your job, talking in front of a camera. Bare minimum. Here's an award for it. Since a lot of them can't even pull that one off.
Cruel, inhuman, and unacceptable. That's how Andrew Cuomo is described. Cruel, inhuman, and unacceptable. That's an accurate way to describe the actions of a politician many Americans celebrated up until recently. Let that sink in. That's the guy America was celebrating. The guy whose actions could be described as cruel, inhuman, and unacceptable. Cuomo won't back down on Medicaid cuts, even if it means spurning billions of coronavirus aid. Hey, thumbs up for killing poor people. Huh? Thumbs up. Huh? Killing poor people. Huh? He's the resistance to getting care for sick people. Jesus. You know what he's doing there? He's saying to a female colleague, hey, you mind putting my thumb in your mouth? You want to do that? How about that? Suck on it for a little while? Cuomo aide Melissa DeRosa admits they hid nursing home data so feds wouldn't find out. This guy's going to get a pension. Cuomo aide Melissa DeRosa admits they hid nursing home data so the feds wouldn't find out. Wow. Did he try to blame the Sopranos? Cuomo gave immunity to nursing home executives after big campaign donations. Again, what a guy. What a guy. This is the guy, Alec Baldwin said he was sad. It was still a tragic day. Americans are such fucking idiots on purpose. Hey, here's another great comedian.
Whenever you call yourself a Cuomo-sexual, and I agree with you. I feel like I'm a Cuomo-sexual too.
Yeah, I think it genuinely has been very inspiring and refreshing to see a leader like Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, who's
just because he comes on TV and talks nice. Here's a guy who hosts a current event show, doesn't know anything that Andrew Cuomo has done that's horrible. Doesn't know about the $400 million he cut from Medicaid, doesn't know about the old people he killed, the immunity he gave to his donors at nursing homes, all that stuff. No, he's inspiring. He's inspiring. They're all giving him a tongue bath. And what this is we all hate Trump, right? See, we're in a clique together. We all are connected because we all hate Trump. And the way we express our hate is by loving Andrew Cuomo. Here's another guy. Boy, I wish he would go back to playing a character because when he plays himself is a real asshole. A real fucking sellout asshole. It's unbelievable. He's everything he used to make fun of.
Many Americans experience moments of being at least Andrew curious, if not fully Cuomo-sexual.
Now that you're the love gov, you've kind of transcended politics, and now you're just part of really more, you're more of like a national sex symbol.
I last remember you being single.
You'll probably get more dates than votes.
Help! I think I'm in love with Andrew Cuomo.
You get us through the second or third wave, and I'm telling you, a lot of those offers will come rolling in.
And you set the example for the rest of the nation, the rest of the world.
He's doing what any president should do.
And what New York deserves.
You came across so honest, like, no, I'm telling you everything there is to know. The word Cuomo just makes people happy now. It's just the actual word now that's going to be put in the dictionary.
And don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
So there he is. There's all the shit libs tongue bathing him. Chris Cuomo took part in strategy calls advising his brother, the New York governor, on how to respond to sexual harassment allegations. So neither of these guys, they're all riding on their father's coattail. That's why he's a host at CNN and his brother's the governor. These are the opposite of self-made men. Wow. And of course, there's nothing happened to him that he did that. Isn't that awesome? That he's still get to point their finger at Fox News as if they're somehow worse than CNN.
Isn't it just amazing how we worship the collective we, the United States, we worship politicians the hardest and they do the least. They get the most worship for doing nothing. The absolute, doing pretty much nothing. But the bar is just on the floor. So it's like, oh, he talks nice. Let's do segment after segment. It's not like that in other countries. We're freaking bizarre. It's bizarre, and that's putting it gently.
Other countries, they take their like in the Ukraine, they put them right in a dumpster. You've seen those videos, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, or they they'll put shit on walls if they have to, or they don't. I mean, they just don't put them on pedestals the way we do. I mean, I'm not saying other places don't have the problems. Of course they do, but not at the level that we do this nonsense.
Look at
nowhere
the French.
Close.
Look at the It's because we don't have a major third party, Ron. If we had, that's why. So now everybody's
you're right.
in two camps. So you're either with us or against us. And if we had a major third party would be the one doing all the criticizing, and there'd be more honest conversation. You know, in France, they don't put their politicians on a pedestal. They went out and they sprayed shit all over the prime minister's house, literal shit.
Yeah, no, and you're right about like when it comes to third parties. I mean, I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine recently who's from Sweden. And we were just talking, and he's like, yeah, dude, our bad is not as bad as you guys, and our middle is better than yours. And it's because they need to talk to these other parties. They need to talk to the socialists. They need to talk to the communists because they need them to win. So, yeah, there's a lot more cooperation when you don't have a two-party duopoly where Wall Street owns both of them.
Cuomo, one of the network's top stars, joined a series of conference calls that included the Democrat governor, his top aide, his communication team, lawyers, and a number of outside advisors. So that's when Chris Cuomo, anchor at CNN, doing softball interviews with his brother while his brother was responsible for the death of all those elderly people and then give the immunity to the people who did it. He was then on conference calls advising him how to get out of this sexual harassment charge. That's what the CNN anchor was doing with a politician. The cable.
I bet that was the most boring, substanceless call ever. He's probably. You think you're going to run for president? Oh, we got something more pressing at the moment. Yeah, but are you thinking about it? I don't know. I think you should just wait it out. No one likes you.
The cable news anchor encouraged his brother to take a defiant position and not to resign from the governor's office. At one point, he used the phrase cancel culture as a reason to hold firm in the face of the allegations. If Chris Cuomo was accused of that, he would just throw those punk-ass allegations down a flight of stairs. You know that. So the guy who had a public meltdown and threatened to throw somebody down a flight of stairs and faced zero consequences for it is now complaining about cancel culture.
Gotta love it.
A guy who lied about his own COVID lockdown and broke his quarantine to the point where his neighbors were pissed off that he's out there with COVID walking around without a mask on. And he lied on camera, said he was staying in his basement the whole time. He did a big thing. Again, no consequence for that. CNN said Cuomo will not be disciplined. Of course not. And what I said is, who would have thought that a guy who faked his own corona quarantine video and made a mockery of journalistic ethics and standards by doing softball interviews with his brother while his brother was facilitating the deaths of the elderly in New York and lying about it, could get even worse? They did. And here's Brian Stelter. Brian Stelter, he's the media watchdog at CNN. So just know why he got hired, because he's the opposite of a media watchdog. That's why. So here we go. Watch this.
In a small way, your network is involved in this story because, of course, the governor's brother, Chris Cuomo, has his show, The Cuomo Zone, on...
is that what it's called?
I don't remember what it's called, but The Cuomo Zone.
Prime Time.
Cuomo Prime, 360 Cuomos. And he, the New York Times, has just reported, a report just dropped because it had been alleged that he was helping his brother with his communications team. New York Times is reporting that that's true. Chris was helping his brother. Has that created any conflict over at CNN behind closed doors? Are people mad at him, or is he in trouble?
Some people are mad at him. By the way, I can confirm the New York Times report. I'll confirm it for your viewers. I also have a source that says Chris was on the phone with his brother this week.
Is your source Chris Cuomo?
He is not. He is not. You gotta have boundaries. You gotta draw a line.
Why? He doesn't.
I think he does, actually.
Really?
I think Chris does. I don't know about the governor.
What are the boundaries?
I think Chris does.
What are the boundaries?
The boundary that CNN management presented to him in May when they admitted he screwed up. They said, what you did was inappropriate. You were on the phone with your brother's aides advising him.
He screwed up. It's like, I put the wrong plug in the wrong place. I screwed it up. No, he intentionally did stuff that was unethical. That's not screwing up.
What to do, and that was inappropriate. But they said, of course you're going to talk to your brother. There's nothing more important.
But he didn't talk about his brother once the trouble started. He said, I'm not going to talk about my brother.
And that was also a management ruling. And so
why didn't they rule that way when his brother was on the show pretty much every night during the COVID crisis?
I think it's really complicated.
That seems like an odd conflict.
It's really complicated, Ron. Man, when Stephen Colbert, who has turned into the ultimate shit lib, true blue bullshitter, gaslighter, this is the news guy. That's a comedian holding the news guy's feet to the fire. It's the news guy. By the way, not just the news guy, the watchdog.
Is your source Chris Cuomo? That was a funny line.
That was very funny.
That line did make me laugh.
That was a great line.
It's a great line.
Rules.
It is an odd conflict, but I don't think if we open up the journalism ethics book, there's no page for this. It's the craziest set of circumstances you can imagine.
What?
Right? A governor and a brother both.
There's no page for this. Really? There's no page for that. You shouldn't have an interview with a conflict of interest when your brother is responsible for killing people. You're going to do the interview? There's no page in there? Why don't you write the page and put it in there? I have a hard time believing there's no page in there for this. This is the news guy.
The concept of nepotism has never come up in journalist ethics before. Ever. It just never. When would it have happened? We just got nothing to point to. Ever.
These high-profile jobs. This was definitely awkward for CNN, though. Sure. I tried to go into this thinking, okay, if I was going to cover this at CBS, how would I cover it? And try to cover it the same way. And I talked to a lot of sources at CNN. Some said, yeah, this is really weird. I'm ticked off at Chris. Others said, you know, I understand. You can't pick who your family members are. So there was a wide range of opinions. And overall, I think what was most important is that we covered the story on air just the same we would any other story. Ultimately, isn't that what matters?
Some people said it was weird.
Some people said
I'm angry at him, I think. It's weird. I don't know.
Some people said they were angry, but then other people said they totally understood. So I'm going to pretend like it's not a big deal. It's awkward. He screwed up, and it was awkward.
It was awkward.
Awkward. These are the words he's using.
You can't choose your family.
What does that have to do with ethics of journalism? That doesn't have anything. You don't interview your brother.
You can't choose your family.
Yeah.
Okay, but can you choose whether or not you help them in an unethical manner, given your position? It's awkward.
It's awkward. Yeah. You can't choose your family, but can you choose to be ethical or unethical when you deal with them? Here's what Glenn Greenwald says. Brian Stelter is such a tongue-wagging company man, but so bad at it that despite his efforts to sacrifice every last shred of dignity and personal integrity he had to defend his corporate employer, he somehow makes them look even worse. Maybe the creepy delivery. Not sure. Boy, Glenn goes, do you think I go hard? Fucking Glenn. Glenn's going hard. Fredo is now the most powerful member of the family. He finally got respect. Nancy Pelosi says too many women are sexually assaulted while in college. I joined New York Governor Cuomo to discuss why. Enough is enough. Jen Psaki, the press secretary for Joe Biden, says the President of the United States responded to a specific question today about New York Governor Cuomo's work on infrastructure. He also made it clear it was right for Governor Cuomo to step down, reiterated his support for women who come forward, and made clear you can't separate personal behavior from other work. Did he mention Tara Reid, though? Asking for a friend. The Democratic Party establishment put its weight behind ousting Cuomo to save its legitimacy. This is the same party that gave Biden cover when Tara Reid and other survivors shared their stories. It's not one bad apple. It's the whole bunch is rotten. Of course it is. I didn't know that. Oh, this is, again, another shit lib. There's no denying it. Andrew Cuomo has done a very good job, especially rhetorically in this crisis. The way he's communicating is informative and politically savvy. It just plays. He demolished Trump as the nominee of the DNC. So this was from March 30th from 2020. And of course, during those times, we were reporting that Andrew Cuomo was being a horrible leader and he was trying to cut Medicare at that time. So we didn't fall for it. We didn't fall for his Emmy award-winning performance, but all the shit libs did, that's for sure. The same ones who say Medicare for all marches are ridiculous. Cenk Uygur, one of the things establishment Democrats do 1,000,000 times better than real Donald Trump is competence. In an emergency, you don't want Bozo the Clown in charge. You want a grown-up. Cuomo and Joe Biden are competent managers when we really need it. Holy shit. Do you think that guy's a competent manager? He's bankrupting his company right now, I'll tell you that. You think Cenk Uygur is a competent manager? Let's count down to when the Young Turks go bankrupt. they're morally been bankrupt for a long time. Since Cenk would show revenge porn and tell people to go look at it on his website for clicks, or when he would post up pictures of Britney Spears upskirt without her underwear on and tell people and ridicule her for how ugly she looked, and now Cenk wouldn't even do her, and then tell people to go to his website to look at the pictures without the blacked out part. This is the guy. This is your guy. Anyone claiming that New York Governor Cuomo is a competent manager while he cuts Medicaid in the middle of a health crisis is an uninformed party hack at best. And I was speaking about Cenk there. Anyone claiming Biden is a competent manager while his dementia is made manifest daily is a flat-out liar. So that's, I was responding to, so that's from April of last year, right? So that's when, April 12th, Cenk tweeted that out. And then I tweeted that out the same day. So these were all around the same time. So that was March 30th, April 12th, April 12th. So
competent.
Those people are party hacks. Those people are party hacks, misinformers, gaslight, or they're the dumbest people in the history of politics. They're party hacks. They all went to good school. They all went to Ivy League colleges. So they're not stupid. They just don't have any integrity or ethics. And they're cheerleaders for the Democratic Party. That's the bottom line. There you have it. Okay. Anything you want to add to that story? Ron, it's quite a story.
It's quite a story. And I'm glad he's gone. But Biden, it's your turn.
Yeah. Then we get Kamala. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It
you just had to bring up that part.
I know. The Jimmy Dore Show is coming to a city near you August 28th. We're in Las Vegas at the Plaza. And we just added another show in Portland. We're there in Portland on September 10th and 11th. October 3rd, we're at Harlow's in Sacramento. More dates being added. Go to jimmydoorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets. See you at a live show.